Sunday night, you open your banking app and stare. It's month end again. Your balance limps at $112 after rent, groceries, and that late pizza on Friday. You swipe to refresh, like it'll change. It doesn't. Your coworker who started last spring flashes a tiny portfolio at lunch. It's bigger than your savings. You promise you'll start when you have a real amount. Next month, maybe. Then another month. Then another year. Here's what happens when you keep waiting. The first 100 never shows up as one clean lump. It dribbles through gas, midnight snacks, and I'll pay it back on payday. You're not reckless. You're just normal. And normal means the account never feels heavy enough to begin, so the idea stays a someday idea. Meanwhile, time keeps working, just not for you. Meet Harry. He delivers bread for a neighborhood bakery before sunrise. Dark hoodie, old hatchback with a sticky rear door. He's paid every Thursday. After fuel, rent, and a small transfer to his mom, he clears about $2,300 per month when it's steady. He'd tried saving before. It always vanished by Sunday night. He hated that float of money that never grew. Here's what changed. On a wet Monday in March, 6:05 a.m., Harry parked behind the bakery and sat in the car before his route. He opened his banking app and moved exactly $100 from checking to a new place he nicknamed Engine. Not a dream number, not a perfect time, just a first brick. He turned off the phone and started loading bread racks. That was it. No speech, no debate. He made the first transfer before he could talk himself out of it. That small move did something his old plans never did. It made a wall between "I'll start soon" and "it already started." The money felt different once it had a home, not a someday bucket, a real container. Here's the rule he kept from then on. Protect the first $100 and never let it fall to zero. Every week, add something. It could be $5 on a thin week, $12 after tips, or $27 when a side shift hit. The day could change. The amount could flex. The rule stayed. Picture the first month. Week 1, the account shows $100 flat. Week 2, he adds $9. Week 3, he adds $23. Week 4, he adds $13. The total isn't jaw-dropping, it's $145, but something important happens. That stack stops being spare cash. It turns into don't touch. The moment he saw 3 digits hold steady without a backslide, he felt quiet ownership. By month 2, Harry noticed a pattern. On weeks he moved money Thursday morning before work, he spent less the rest of the week without trying. He'd skip a drive-thru and eat leftover soup at the bakery. He started filling his tank on Wednesday night to avoid the weekend surge. He wasn't heroic. He just had a small rule to keep. The $100 acted like a floor. Every deposit pushed the floor a notch higher. One night at the diner, his friend Omer laughed. "Dude, $100 won't change your life." Harry didn't argue. He shook salt on fries and changed the subject. But privately, he kept count of weeks. 5 consistent deposits. Then 7, then 10. A Thursday rolled around when his paycheck came in light after the bakery's short week. He still moved $10 into Engine at 6:19 a.m. It hurt for a day. It felt good for a week. By early summer, Engine showed $408. Not fortune money, yet it carried weight. Harry started seeing decisions through that number. When a coworker pushed a group order for lunch, he thought, is 15 minutes of taste worth lowering that line? Most days the answer was no. Some days it was yes, and he paid without guilt because he'd already honored the rule. Then came the moment that would have wrecked him a year earlier. The hatchback needed a brake job. 2 estimates, both painful. Before Engine, that bill would have blown up his month and wiped out the baby savings he kept in checking. This time, he took a breath, moved $80 back for the shop, and left Engine above the first 100. He guarded that line like it was a job. The car rolled out quiet. The account stayed alive. He didn't start over. He continued. That's how compounding begins for regular people. Not with a windfall. With a line you refuse to cross and a habit that stacks on top. The first $100 rule isn't about the number. It's about proving you can keep something you once leaked. When you keep it for 4 weeks, then 8, then 12, you start to trust your own follow-through. And once you trust that, larger amounts finally make sense. Harry added structure the 3rd month. He set a tiny automatic move for Thursday at 7:02 a.m. $10. Non-negotiable. He still did manual top-ups when he could. That little automation removed drama. Whether he felt flush or broke, the transfer happened. He arranged the root cooler while the bank moved the money. No ceremony. Two things accelerated the growth. First, windfalls. Instead of letting extra shifts inflate weekend spending, he sent part of them to Engine the minute they arrived. $11 from a tip bundle. Engine. $47 from a late route. Engine. Second, naming future purchases out loud and assigning them to the account. New tires in November. Dental cleaning in December. Those weren't fantasies anymore. They were line items the account would greet with a nod when they arrived. Here's where numbers begin to feel different. Once Engine stayed above 100 without exception, Harry raised the floor. He wrote a sticky note. Floor 150 by October. The moment he hit 150, he never let it drop below that line. Same rule. New floor. The account climbed like stairs you build as you climb them. 150, then 200, then 250. Each step felt awkward for a week, then normal by month's end. Let's bring this to you. If savings never stick, don't aim at a giant number. That's a montage. Aim at protecting your first 100 with the same seriousness you'd guard your phone. Move it once. Today. Even if it means your checking goes from 308 to 208. Then add a small repeating amount tied to your pay schedule. $5 is fine. 7 is fine. 11 is fine. The amount isn't the point. The streak is the point. Look, this isn't personalized advice. It's education from real people who've made this work, but your situation will differ. What matters is the first transfer and the ongoing proof that you can keep it alive. If that hit different, tap like. Not for me, for you. It marks the moment you stopped waiting for the perfect starting number. Back to the process. You'll face two traps. First, the "I'll replace it next week" swipe. That promise rarely gets paid. If you have to pull from Engine for a real bill, fine, but leave the floor intact even if it means selling something or taking an extra mini shift. Second, the "I missed a week, so the streak is broken" slump. No, the rule is living. Add a token amount the next day. $1 counts. Streak restored. What about emergencies larger than the account? The old you would have put the whole thing on a credit card and called it fate. The new you uses Engine as a partial shield and a reminder that you're building capacity. You may still need help, you may still need payment plans, but you will not be a person who goes to zero. That change matters more than any chart. A year in, Engine crossed $1,327. Harry bought a used bike for deliveries to save fuel downtown. He left the floor untouched. The account dipped, then climbed back. People at work started asking how he finally got ahead. He never mentioned tricks. He just told them about that wet Monday, 6:05 a.m., the hatchback, and the first $100. And he told them the only hard part was the first transfer. Here's your move before the video ends. Open your app. Make a separate place. Nickname it something that makes you smirk. Move $100 now. If you don't have it this second, move 12. Then schedule a repeating move for the morning of your next payday. $5 is enough. Keep it going weekly for 4 weeks. Comment with your day below so you'll see it in your notifications. Wednesday, Thursday, put it there. We'll check it. As you keep the rule, scale it gently. When the floor feels normal, bump it by 25. When a surprise expense hits, solve it without breaking the line. When extra money lands, skim off a piece within 1 hour and send it to Engine. The first 100 is the muscle memory. Everything after that is just a heavier rep of the same move. Let me paint the long arc. Year 1 is the fight to keep a floor. Year 2 is stacking larger amounts calmly. Year 3 is when doors open because you've built a place for money to sit. The first 100 made you a keeper. The later thousands make you a builder. Same person. Same job, maybe. Want weekly moves that stick? Subscribe and hit the bell so your next step arrives on time. There's a myth that only big sums deserve structure. The truth is reversed. Small sums create the structure that big sums rely on when they finally arrive. Every giant account you've admired started with someone moving a small amount on a plain weekday and refusing to let it drain back. Take a breath, check the app. If your engine is above the floor today, give yourself a nod. If it's not, fix it before you sleep. Add something even if it's $3. Don't leave the day without a notch forward. That's how compounding truly starts. Not with a shouting victory, but with quiet deposits no one claps for because you already decided. Before we wrap, your commitment. Drop your day and your auto-move amount in the comments. Make it public so it sticks. I'll look for Thursday, 6:02 a.m., $7. Or Monday, 9:15 p.m., $11 after tips. When you see others posting theirs, you'll feel the pull to keep yours. That pull helps in the first months when the habit is still getting its legs. When you close this video, remove friction, rename the account, set the repeating move, put a sticky note on your card, move the gas fill to Wednesday night, prep lunch for tomorrow. Each tiny step lowers the chance of an oops. You're not chasing perfection. You're building momentum. The first $100 was your line in the sand. Step over it once and watch the shoreline move behind you. When you act small and steady today, tomorrow arrives quieter, lighter, and yours to direct instead of defend. Every ordinary Thursday. And when you hit your first three-figure month of additions, celebrate in a low-cost way. Take a walk after dinner. Make tea in a mug you like. Tell one person you trust that you kept the line for 12 weeks straight. Not a boast, a marker. Then keep going. The next season will feel easier. The floor will rise. The engine you built will hum without forcing. One day you'll glance at your balance on an ordinary Thursday, nod, and get on with your route, because you're the kind of person who keeps what they start and lets the rest grow while life keeps moving.